Hello, you're welcome to New Focus Approach to Mathematics Basic 7. This is revised edition. And in this video, we want to locate points on the number plane or Cartesian plane and drawing straight lines through this point. Right. So, because you're going to deal with plotting of points and drawing of straight lines, we'll use graph sheets. You can even use grade paper for this, but mostly we will use graph sheet or graph book. Now, when you open your graph book, you have this page like this, but then you have to indicate your x and y axis on your graph sheet like I've done here. This is your x axis and this is your y axis. And you see that I've scaled the x and y axis. Most cases when you are graphing or when you want to plot point and draw straight lines, you need to know the scale that you're supposed to use. Now, if you look at your graph, look at this thick line and look at that thick line. Put ruler on it and measure the distance between them. You see that the distance will give you 2 centimeters exactly. If yours is not, then it means your graph paper or your graph book is not accurate. But mostly you see that to be exactly 2 centimeters. And even if you measure it vertically to give you the same 2 centimeters as well. So when they give you a scale of 2 centimeters to, let's say, 1 unit, it means if you start your origin here at 0, because you're talking about 1 unit, you measure 1, then the next you get 2, the next you get 3, and in that order. If I say use 2 centimeters to 2 units, in that case, if this is your origin as your 0, then you are going to get 2, then 4. That means it will increase in 2 units. If I say 5 centimeters, then it will increase in 5. Is that okay? So that is what we call the scale. In some weird cases, they will say 1 centimeter to maybe 1 unit. When it happened that way, it means that between this and this small line, we have 1 centimeter. So that's what we are going to use in scaling your graph. But most cases, they will give you 2 centimeters. Now, let's see how we can plot points. Let's see how we can plot point on the Cartesian plane. Okay, now what do we do? For example, if I give you a point of 3, 2. Now, in coordinate geometry, when you write point 3, 2, is always having a form of xy. Your first number is always x, and the second is always y. And so it means that move 3 steps on the x-axis and 2 steps on the y-axis. Where they meet, that becomes your point. So 3 steps, like I have 1, 2, 3, and then y1, 2, so they'll meet here. So I'll plot a point there. If you ask me to plot maybe 3, 0, then it means I have 3 on the x-axis, no movement on the y-axis. So then I'm going to have just over here. If you ask me to move, let's say -2, 5, then -2, I have -2 on the x-axis, 5 on the y-axis. So -2 on the x-axis, 5 on the y-axis will give me a point here. Finally, if you ask me to plot maybe 0, -4, 0, -4, okay, 0, -4, that means 0 on the x-axis, -4 on the y-axis will be a point of this sort. So this is how we plot point. Now let's use this idea to solve questions. Let's say you are asked to copy and complete the table for the relation y equals 3x plus 1. What will you do? This is like what we did earlier on the relation, that is mapping. So the mapping is that if I have the value of x to be -3, what will be the value of y? And the relation is given as 3x plus 1. So what it means is that if I want to know the y value, whatever I see as, I put -3 there, and then I get my answer as -9 plus 1, and that will give me -8. So I can put -8 on over here. I'll do the same thing for maybe -2, and then again we have -2 times 3, which will give us -6 plus 1, and that will give us -5. So if you put in -1 also, you have -1, which will give you -3 plus 1, and that will be -2. If you put in 0, you have 1. If you put in 1, you are going to get 4. And if you put in 2, you get 6 plus 1, which is 7. And if you put in 3, 9 plus 1, which is 10. If you put in 4, which is 12 plus 1, 13, and it goes in that order. So if you put in 5, you are going to get 15 plus 1, which is 16 as well. So that becomes your table of values. Okay, now we can plot this table of values using our graph sheet. Now, looking at the scale, the values that we have here, the best scale we can use is to maybe 2 centimeter to 1 unit on the x-axis and 2 to 2 units on the y-axis. Actually, these values are extreme because we have this extreme value. But in normal case, if I'm to give you a question, I'll give it such a way that the values of y should be, it should be in such a way that it will fill the page that is given. Now, let's see how we can plot them. So, let's say we want to plot -3, -8. -3, -8 means I'm going to get it somewhere here. Okay, see -3, -8. Then if I look at -2, -5, -2, -5 will be somewhere here. Then again, I can plot maybe 0, 1, 0, 1, sorry, 0, 1 will be 0, then y on the y-axis. Okay, so that will be somewhere here. And remember that if you want to draw a straight line, you need a minimum of 2 points to draw a straight line. So I can even plot 2 points to just get my straight line. But in this case, you want to plot all the points. Maybe the question will ask you to plot all the points. So 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4 will be somewhere, 1, 4 will be somewhere here. And then 2, 7 will be 2, 7 will be here. Okay. And then 3, 10, 3, 10 will be there. So I think that is okay for now. And then we can see that all the points will lie on the straight line. Why? Because this is a linear function. Because of the exponent of 1, it's a linear. So we'll get with your straight edge, remember, with your ruler, you join all the points together and you get a straight line. When you are done, because it's a straight line, I want to label it. It has the relation y equals 3x plus 1. So you always write it on top of your line. This is how you can answer this question. Now let's take another example, then we end this video. Now in this case, they say copy and complete the table for the relation 2x plus 1 in the given values of x. And the scale has been given as use 2 centimeters to 1 unit on x-axis and 2 to 2 units on y-axis. Draw 2 perpendicular axes. Plot all the other pairs on the number plane. Here they want you to plot everything, so you're going to plot everything. Then join all the points, all the pairs, join all the points with a straight line. Okay, so what will happen now? We have a relation to be there. So first of all, when x is -2, okay, what is y? Y will give us -4 here plus 1, which is -3. That's been given. When when x is -1, and remember that you can choose not to do all these calculations. You can just do it mentally and put your answer there. The most important thing is to get the table correctly, so you can plot all the points exactly as it's supposed to be. So this will give us -1, right? So I'm going to put -1 here. Then when you put in 0, you get 1. When you put in 1, it's going to be 1 times 2 plus 1, which is 3. When you put in 2, 4 plus 1, 5. If you put in 3, 6 plus 1, 7. If you put in 4, 4 times 2 plus 1, which is 9. So that becomes all the points. Okay, so now we want to now plot this point. When x is -2, y is -3. So -2, -3 will give us somewhere here, right? That is -2, -3. Then -1, 1. -1 would be -1, -1. Remember that the scale so to be somewhere here. And 0, 1. So 0, 1 is going to give us 0, 1. That is x is 0, y is 1. Then 1, 3. 1 and 3 also be somewhere here. Then 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5 will be somewhere here. Okay, then 3, 7, 3, 7 will be here. So you can see that all the points are on the same straight line. Then 4, 9, 4, 9, 4, 9 will be here. And then finally 5, 11. 5, 11 will be also here as well. So you can see that all the points are on the same straight line. So with your ruler, you can draw the line to pass through all the points. And then again, you write on it y is equals to 2x plus 1. So that becomes the solution to this question. I'm sure it has really helped you to understand how to plot points and then draw straight lines. With this, we come to the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching.